Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Unpopular K-pop opinions, cause Hee-Jin's got competition. Who she got?
One, another company, another debut, another round of We Swear It's Just Candy while they dangle borderline sexual symbolism in front of literal minors. Baby Don't Cry's MV teaser for F-Girl was not just tone deaf, it was calculated, irresponsible and straight up disturbing. The teaser opens in a convenience store, where one of the girls casually drops a shiny little square on the counter. And no, you're not crazy, that wasn't gum and your brain didn't jump to conclusions for no reason. The size, shape, and texture? Girl bye. And just in case that wasn't suggestive enough, the male cashier throws her a judgmental look. So let's not play dumb here. P Nation knew exactly what they were implying. They wanted the ambiguity. They wanted the shock value. And then came their tired statement. It's candy. We didn't mean that. It's about breaking labels. Shut up. If the whole point was playful rebellion, why didn't she pull out a freaking lollipop or slap some bubblegum on the counter? Why make it look like that and then insert a judgmental stare from an adult man to drive home the innuendo? You don't get to use every visual cue associated with sexual tension and then act shocked when people interpret it exactly how you intended them to. It's manipulative. And when 3 of your members are minors, it becomes outright dangerous. It's a textbook example of the industry towing the line of inappropriateness and then
the thing
gaslighting the audience.
it's interesting when the company is able to do this, but if you were to do that solo as an artist, you would get in trouble.
Who you have in mind?
Like for example, like just any of the K-pop stars, if they're like caught in a sex what can be perceived as a sexual situation, they would get in trouble. But if it was authorized by the company as part of branding, it's completely fine.
That is true. Looking at you, Haknyeon,
Audience when called
Who?
out.
the Haknyeon guy,
Who's,
the
who?
one who slept with the porn star.
I didn't call him.
I'm calling him.
I didn't call him.
I'm calling him. Hi.
We've seen the same playbook before. Cookie was about cooking cookies for bunnies. Gnarly's choreo isn't suggestive. Illet's Tic Tac lyrics are just cute. Lesser Atham's twerking isn't sexual. How long are we going to let companies hide behind fake innocence while pushing teenage girls into mature hyper-coded concepts designed to flirt with controversy for attention? And I don't want to hear the "you're the pervert for seeing it that way" argument. Stop blaming the audience for reacting exactly how you baited them to react. If your brilliant, empowering, boundary-pushing message about
So guys, you know how I feel about this. We having all that. We watched the actual video for F Girl. I feel the marketing was genius, cause the song and the music video has nothing to do with that. I don't even know why they go, because in the intro they do the teaser. They go to the store, get that condom. I don't know why they do that, but I guess the whole point to do that is to create controversy, and I think they succeeded.
Yeah.
They got us to watch the video.
I mean, if something was to happen to those girls in the future and they're caught in a controversy and the company chooses to backdoor them and say, oh no, we don't want this image associated to us, I would look at them as a
Yes,
hypocrite.
they would be hypocrites in that case, but I feel the marketing worked. The video, when we reacted, had 700 plus K at 6 hours, or I think that's a lot for a group from small label.
They're underage.
She said 3 of them.
3 of them?
Yeah, so oh wait, there's only 4 members, so one is overage, I guess.
the sexualization of women requires literal minors acting out coded innuendo involving
I don't
sexual
know.
shaped
It's a
objects.
little weird. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, especially since they're it would look different. Okay, if it was like grown girls
If it
doing
was grown
that,
women, there would be no
there,
conversation about it
yeah, but
whatsoever.
it's so weird to use kids to kind of make it go viral and more taboo. It's just awkward.
And sneaky camera angles. Congrats. You've become the exact problem you claim to be criticizing. You don't dismantle the sexualization of minors by sexualizing minors. You don't make a statement about the male gaze by throwing teenage girls directly into its crosshairs and saying, but it's satire. Like, what the crap kind of logic is that? You want to challenge the system? Fine. Then don't reenact its worst offenses under the guise of rebellion while using rookies barely out of middle
Because
school
no
who
one
had
is
zero
no one is stupid. Everyone can understand, okay, what they're trying to do. They're trying to
It was obvious what they're trying to do, yeah.
they're trying to like give
It's
the
obvious, yeah,
illusion
it's
without
obvious.
doing it, and they're catering to a certain market to tap into a certain audience to pour in.
So
It's
what
like,
audience they're targeting though?
do you know exactly
No, I
the
don't.
creeps,
The creeps?
the
Do you think
creeps,
that's who they target? The
the
creeps?
creeps, the guys that ooh, this is almost soft, P. So I want to see what
Soft P?
soft P.
Soft P?
People. You can say that.
Oh,
So I feel like I would be curious to see what's their demographics. Who are they catering to? Who are they trying to advertise? Because it's not selling to me like
Based on the song, the music video, who they targeting? I don't even know. I would say
Like,
like
who wants
the
to be an F girl, first of all?
I would say my honest after watching the video, I would say it's like those rebellious teenage girls. That's who they're targeting. That's what my honest thought. I don't really see a grown ass men watching their stuff. I as a grown man, I found nothing interesting about it.
Mm.
Uh, as like okay, nothing interesting from my personal interest. Like in terms of we do like the K-pop news and I need to be aware of what they're doing. So for that sense, okay, it is interesting. But for me to go back to listen on my time or watch this shit, and fuck no. Uh, now, guys, teenage guys, if they have a crush on a girl, maybe. But aside from that, also not
It's
really.
gonna be the creep.
The song is I'm an F girl. What kind of how is a guy gonna say I'm an F girl? Imagine a guy singing along, you sitting somewhere.
That's not the point. They don't. That's not the point.
I don't
They're
know.
watching to watch what they, what they're trying to see.
Input in how they'd be portrayed. You're not subverting the system. You're giving it better lighting and a new stylist. Soyeon's creative fingerprint is all over this. And when she does it for herself or for other grown women, it makes sense. She's earned the right to unpack themes of hypervisibility and objectification because she's an adult with agency, perspective and control, but dragging that same
Exactly.
envelope-pushing high-edged concept into a group that's 75% underage? That's dangerous. This isn't the same as G-Idol songs. Those were adult women reclaiming their own narratives and bodies in a
We oftentimes blame like oh men, creepy men.
It's
What?
also women. Too.
But yeah, that's
Well,
what
yeah, Soyeon is the one leading the
that's
charge.
where I'm heading. I feel like oftentimes the women set up young girls to be sexualized and whatever. It's not even the creepy men. It's like the women. They use the teenagers to do that.
There's a term
So
for
it's
that too.
I don't know. Like men are men. I'm not excusing them, but let's not act like women don't do that either.
society that constantly tries to own both. There's power in that. But
Now, are women doing it because they were sexualized and they don't know any better? Or they just don't give a fuck? I don't know.
I feel
I
like
don't
the
know.
cycle continues.
Could be just
I think
a-
I think that, for her, she sees it as an opportunity to make more money, where, like you said, she doesn't have to perform. She could just make money off of writing songs for the
Maybe.
girls.
what power do these
She's
rookie
also
minors
creative
have?
director.
What boardroom were they
Like,
sitting
I
in?
think so,
What
yeah.
lines did they write? None. They were directed and packaged to be provocative, then dropped in front of a camera like props in someone else's feminist art project. And don't even get me started on the company's defense. It's candy. Girl, please. If it's just candy. Why does the adult male clerk look at her like she's doing something shameful? Why is it framed like a dirty little secret? That stare was the visual punchline. You wanted the viewer to assume the worst before pulling the haha gotcha twist. That's intentional baiting.
And
You
honestly,
gamified the
I couldn't tell you who was the one who's underage, who's overage. To me, they all look like they were grown.
well,
ladies.
overage is probably like 18 and underage is 17, so they all look like well, it's 1 year difference. They all look the same.
Sexualization
but
of a minor.
there's a line for a reason, and even if 18, to me, you're still like, ugh. It's like you don't have agency truly. I feel like until you're 25. So sure, yeah, one is 18, but she's in a room full of like people who have position of power, telling her what to do, and I don't know if that's what she truly wants to do.
For virality. Disgusting. Let's also be honest about the predator pipeline this industry keeps feeding. You
Yeah.
think predators care about the artistic meaning behind your MV? They're not watching for commentary. They're watching because you put underage girls in a suggestive
Exactly.
scene. The deeper meaning doesn't matter when the literal framing caters to creeps. You don't fight exploitation by handing predators high-budget visuals of teenage girls in morally gray
Even the
contexts.
name of
2.
the
Did
group,
Cravity
Baby Don't Cry. It's something about it. It gives me like creep vibes.
I don't know. I don't like the name.
copy TXT? Ever since TXT's creative director Min Chai posted that not-so-subtle Instagram story, featuring Bongdu's panic shoot and the caption authenticity and sincerity, the fandoms went full FBI mode and suddenly Cravity was being dragged like they Xeroxed the entire concept. But here's the thing. We're talking about a handful of similar shots, blankets, fridges, bathrooms, tiled walls, and none of it is new, revolutionary or exclusive to one group. If we're calling dibs on sprawling on a blanket, then half the fashion industry owes someone an apology. Yes, the visuals do look similar, that's obvious, but similar is not equal to stolen.
Maybe it was just
Yeah.
a phase.
I will say I don't think it's plagiarism, especially because it seems like the creator posted and reached out to Hive, got a permission and
We settled
whatnot.
that.
Yeah, we settled that, but it is definitely one of the most obvious, not obvious, but most similar out of like every time we do these plagiarism, a lot of times are reaching.
Yeah.
This one actually Loki does kind of look similar.
I
Like
think that's why he had to even come out.
yeah,
Say something.
yeah, because this one is kind of like
Because I would want my money back. Like, you could just copy
Yeah.
someone else's
yeah,
concept.
this one is quite similar.
Give me my
Recycle
money.
constantly, especially in K-pop where there are 20 plus comebacks a month and everyone's pulling from the same global Pinterest board of melancholy domestic core. The problem wasn't the visuals, it was the timing. Cravity's teasers came only 3 months after Bomgyu solo debut, so naturally fans saw it as copying. But this is where it gets important. Rakta, Cravity's creative director, didn't dodge. He addressed it head-on with receipts, clarifying that before finalizing Cravity's concept, he submitted the entire visual plan to Big Hit for approval. After reviewing the timeline, Big Hit confirmed there was no chance Cravity had copied TXT's Panic visuals, because Cravity's shoot was conceived and approved before Panic was even released. If Big Hit had a problem, they had every chance to block it. They didn't. End of story. And yet TXT's creative director still went ahead and posted that story. Was it passive-aggressive? Yeah, probably. Was it needed? Not at all. Like, if you know nothing was copied and the timeline backs it up, what are you even shading? What's the point? The problem with throwing vague shade as a creative professional is that it kicks off pointless fandom fights when the companies themselves already cleared things behind closed doors. It looks petty.
In the guy has his freedom of expression. If he feels it was shaded, even though somebody at hype said it's not, the guy can feel a certain way. Plus, the hype might not, not the hype, the guy might not have been involved in that hype's decision. Like he might not even have been aware that the Gravity consulted hype. So, there's nothing wrong with him expressing how he feels. I don't have a problem with that.
Especially when Cravity's director came through with a full
Honestly, I wish K-pop express how they feel more. It would be very interesting to see more beef going on.
explanation
Like
and an
actual
apology,
beef,
not even
not
for
no
wrongdoing, but for the confusion the
passive-aggressive
similarities
shit.
caused. 3. Let's talk about Hearts 2 Hearts comeback style. SM pulled a whiplash-inducing pivot from foggy art film melancholy to rainbow-drenched mall pop, and honestly, the genre whiplash has me intrigued. The chase had this soft-focused dream sequence energy where you half expected a ghost to whisper the chorus to you, but style is completely different. It's not exactly groundbreaking, in fact, it proudly sits in the IKEA showroom of bubblegum K-pop. It's bright, it's bouncy, and it's not deep. It's not trying to be, and for what it is, it doesn't need to be. The production is serviceable, bubbly synths, clicky percussion, and that cheerful bass line you've definitely heard somewhere in 2016, but can't place because it lives in 20 other songs too. The structure is clean and linear, and bless whoever said let's actually finish the song and give it a proper outro. Because in an age where tracks fade out like a ghosting ex, that's rare. Vocally, the girls really came through. They knew they had something to prove after the chase left their vocals lost in reverb purgatory, and they delivered. There's an audible confidence here. And even if the track is safe, the girls' performance isn't timid. 4. Dispatch dropped a
So I guess that's the kind of music she likes then, because it's very rare to see what she praises.
Yeah.
And this style, for us, it was kind of not really. But since that's what she really likes, that K-pop, that. So I get
That's
it
fair.
now. That's fair.
report about the Ju Haknyeon scandal. According to Dispatch, Ju Haknyeon spent that night out in Tokyo partying with a small group of people. After the drinks and socializing, he and the ex-adult actress ended up leaving together around 6 a.m. and shared a taxi to her place. Later that same morning, Ju Haknyeon went back to the hotel where the boys were staying for their group schedule.
So we're
Sounds
getting
bad
more
already.
details.
I don't know if it's more, if it's a bunch of the same. Let's see. I have no
Okay.
idea.
'Cause
Right?
Now we hear, okay, they were in the taxi together.
The only thing, whenever Dispatch comes on, they are reputable, so we kind of have to, consider it with a little more weight.
Morning. Ju Haknyeon went back to the hotel where the boys were staying for their group schedule. Sounds bad already, right? Well, it gets worse. Turns out the Japanese media had already snapped paparazzi pics of a guy, allegedly Ju Haknyeon, hiding under a cap and mask, all cozy with a woman in the streets of Tokyo. One photo showed him giving her what Dispatch described as a passionate back hug. Naturally, the internet ran wild with it, and since Ju Haknyeon himself admitted he was at that gathering, people were like, yeah, that's him. Now here's where Dispatch's report really hits hard. Apparently, a staff member from the boys' own team told Dispatch that after Ju came back from Karara's place, he bragged to staff that he slept with her, like, full-on flexing about it. That completely clashes with what he said to the public, where he tried to clean up the narrative and claimed nothing illegal happened. According to Dispatch, when
Wait.
Okay, so
Then,
that is not illegal, bragging about having sex with a girl. What is illegal about that?
Hmm.
The guy did say he didn't pay her, but he never said, oh, I never had sex with her. I don't exactly see what clashes here.
Ju Haknyeon first talked to his agency about the situation, he admitted meeting her, told them I didn't pay for anything, the Hyungs paid, and said he felt bad about it all, because he didn't want the other members getting dragged into his mess. But then when the company decided to drop him over it, he suddenly switched it up. He told them he didn't sleep with Karara and only pretended he did to sound cool. Yes, man did a full 180 and tried
So
to walk
he's
it back once
lying?
the consequences started rolling in. This I lied to look impressive.
You gotta,
I-
so you gotta stand by it.
I didn't see him say he didn't sleep with her.
Now they saying he's
That's
switching
what
his
she's
story
saying, but I didn't see
because he
him
ain't
say
like the
that.
The thing only made
repercussions.
him look worse, whether it's true or not. It paints him as someone willing to exaggerate explicit stories for attention, then scramble and deny everything when it starts to cost him. It just made the whole situation look immature and shady. From the company's side, Dispatch said they were crystal clear on why they kicked him out. They didn't even need proof that he paid for anything, according to them, just sneaking out during a group schedule overseas, drinking, being caught out in public all over an adult film actress, hugging on her in the street and then lying about it. All of that broke his contract. Dispatch also revealed that 100 was panicking over two specific things. First, the scandal blowing up if those intimate pics got leaked, which they did, and second, the legal risks if any kind of payment was involved. They weren't about to wait for it to get worse. As soon as Ju Haknyeon confirmed the basics of what happened, they pulled the plug and ended his contract to contain the mess. And what about Asaka Karara herself? Dispatch reached out to her too. She denied the payment rumors again and doubled down on something she's already said before. Outside of her AV work, she's never accepted money for explicit things, and this situation was no different. She didn't confirm if she and Ju Haknyeon actually did anything, but she was firm on one thing: no money changed
The
hands.
thing is,
so
that's no one's business. What did they do?
Yeah, that's no one's business.
So she doesn't have to confirm that. But ooh, what an awkward situation.
overall, Dispatch's report lines up with what the company's been saying. Ju Haknyeon's exit wasn't about proving anything criminal. It was about behavior, poor choices, and the mess he made for himself and the group. Whether it was all true or not, the way he handled it, bragging, lying, switching
Okay.
stories was enough to get
Makes
him dropped.
sense. It's
His
fair.
own mouth played a big part in his downfall. If anything else comes out, I'll keep you updated. But as of now, this looks like one of those scandals where even if the facts are blurry, the damage is
think
already done. And that's all for today.
The company wanted him to like, okay, if this is what happened, talk to us. We'll resolve it. Don't tell us something backwards and then jeopardize the company and the boys.
Yeah, I think he's not gonna win this one.
No,
I don't think it's not the problem is not that he had sex with the girl. The problem is not
Mm-hmm.
the problem is it was a company's time on tour and he snuck out at night. I do believe that breaches the service code of conduct. That is in itself
And he
a
didn't want to
problem.
keep be honest with them too. Like he didn't want to say so they can like work on it.
No,
maybe
I
to
I
protect
think
them,
he
too.
was honest, but
No, he took it back. Now what are you?
well,
what are
I don't
you
know,
doing?
whatever. But
And we
yeah,
got Dispatch talking. You know, Dispatch
the
is good
fact
information.
the fact that he stepped out during company's time, they
and
were
he was
on
supposed to
tour,
be.
he was
Yeah.
supposed to be doing that. I can see how that is a breach of conduct, code of conduct,
And which
whatever.
was what they
Yeah.
were claiming the whole time.
Yeah,
So you
so
on your own.
so if it's not about that, oh, something criminal, it's about the fact that he broke the and it's not even that, oh, he was on vacation by himself and slept with someone. It's he wasn't on vacation because I was under assumption he was on vacation and he was,
But
just
the
whatever.
other boys were there. Like at the end, he went back to the boys where they were
Right.
staying.
So considering they were like on a business trip and
But also,
that's on the clock. Yeah.
but how much? But maybe we need to understand how much of it is on the clock, because are they on the clock for the full trip, or do they get like downtime
I
for
don't know.
themselves?
That I don't know. But
Because then the staff member, someone was supposed to, usually they have a staff watching,
I don't
where
know.
the boys are, or
I mean,
any of the idols.
it's
that
going to court,
supervise.
so we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes. We'll get more details, but as of it is right now,
Mhm.
I'm starting to lean that he's not gonna win this against the company.
And now you see why, even when they're old, 26 like that, they need someone to watch over them, a handler.
Andler.
Fortunately, but not really, we regret to inform you that Patricia's contract has been terminated due to deeply personal reasons, specifically her
I don't know why
inability
no
to
one
stop
was watching
microwaving
him.
fish in the dorm at 3 a.m. We wish her
Uh-oh.
the absolute worst in whatever mess she spirals
Oh.
into next. And yes, we will be pressing charges. Watch your back, Patricia.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
What just
that.
happened?
I don't know.
Ready? Okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.